Hey, it's Laurie of Laurie's Sewing, and when I last left you, we had attached the leg bands to the little blue bubble, and I mentioned that this edge right here should have extended past the bias on the little crotch area on the front and the back. The reason for that is it would then fold down to match this fold right here, and then we could hand stitch this down along this little leg edge right there. But I didn't do that. I do have enough fabric to cut new bias to do that with. The other thing that needs to happen here is this little bottom half needs to be attached to this little top half. And the way that works is we push our little vest out of the way, and this edge here will be attached to this edge here. We're going to keep the folded under bottom edge of the lining free, but before I do any of that, I am going to go ahead and at the sewing machine I'm going to run a roll and whip along this bottom edge, because just in the last couple of weeks since I've been working on it, this has begun to shred, and I don't like the way that looks. I also need to trim these out, these little sleeve openings out. There's one other area that I wanted to cut down, and that was this right here. Yep. Okay. And again, I'm just going to use the tips. I'm not going to open this all the way and cut like this. I'm just going to use maybe the first inch of the blades and just snip, snip, like so. I'll do that on the other side. Nope, I already did that one. Okay. Very nice. Okay. So here I go. I'm just going to run a roll and whip right along this edge right here. I have gotten these two edges basically encased in stitching. I still have a few little whiskers to trim off, but that can be done rather quickly. The next thing is we take the front section of the little bubble pants. This is the front right here. This is front seam. We'll just put that down in front of you like so. We've got the little top half right here, so we're going to lay that down flat, right sides together like this. The lining edge will fold toward us, the little jacket edge will fold this direction, and we just want this bodice piece, and mainly we want these side seams. So we're going to take the leg side seam and the top side seam and line that up and pin it into place. And then this one over here on the little top half, and the other leg seam over here, and we're going to pin that into place so that they are right on top of each other. And what should happen is this should fit. So right in the middle where the front seam on the little pants is, pin the top part to the lower part. And I usually just put 2 pins right there. It helps, it's like a landmark. Okay, and you can see that the little vest is in between the pants and the bodice. Okay, and if you want to, for stability, go ahead and put a few more pins in there. Make sure that that little vest is not going to get caught in your stitching. It needs to be down below the level where you're going to be stitching this together. All right, then go around to the back. Just keep bringing that section around. It might feel a little awkward, but you can do it. And pin that into place. And use as many pins as you need to hold it. All right, and then the back bodice and the back of the little lower half needs to line up like so. And we'll pin that into place. And again, I'm going to do a couple extra pins just for stability. Then I'm going to go around to the other side and do the same thing. And you just kind of tuck the little sleeves and all that extra stuff right out of the way. And then you just line up this over here. Pin it into place. And then fill in. Now here's a tip that I would like to share. There is literally so much going on here. You've got pleats, you've got this little vest, you've got your lining, you've got sleeves, you've got a whole lot of stuff happening. If this bodice is too big and doesn't fit with the lower half, if it somehow is like sticking way out back here, or the front between these two side seams, the front is gapping, that's an easy fix. All you have to do is just take up a little extra stitch on these side seams on the bodice, just little tiny bits on each side, and that'll help kind of pull this in to fit. If you have the opposite problem, if the top is too small and the lower half is too large, then just undo. All you've done is basted these pleats right here. They're just basted, and you can just undo that and take up slightly bigger pleats all the way around. Just adjust until you have the top half fitting the lower half. Now I was very, very lucky, beyond belief lucky with this. This fit perfectly, and I'm kind of frankly shocked. That probably won't. There's going to be small adjustments usually that you have to make. None of us is perfect. Okay, I'm still clipping these little whiskers. So, feel free to make those adjustments. Most of the time, it's just a little tiny bit here and a little tiny bit there, and then you're good to go. If it feels like it's a lot, if you're like, oh my gosh, I have 4 inches of gap, what you might want to do is let the pants out just a little bit and take the bodice in just a little bit and kind of, spread that excess between the two. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch all the way around, and then we'll see how this looks together, stitched as one piece. And again, I know I've got to take care of this, but I don't, this is a lot of hand stitching, and I've got to remove this and put that band across there. So I just don't need to do that on camera, I don't think. But I'll show you what this looks like once I get it stitched. I'll see you back in a bit. All right. So here it is, stitched together, and I'm just going to open it up. Oh, that is just too cute. Oh, I just love that. All right. So as you know, we've still got the snaps to put here. They snap like that. We've got to finish off these leg bands. This is, oh, look at that. I have managed to capture one of the little points in the stitching, so I'll have to undo that, pull it out, and restitch. But I wanted you to see how adorable. It is just precious. Cut that thread right there. There's a lot of lint in the sewing room. Oh boy, so much lint. Whoa. Okay. All right, so let me take care of getting that little point undone. It just caught right one little stitch. How funny. There we go. All right. So here we have an almost finished little bubble. And here I'm going to show the two different ribbons. I've got the grosgrain ribbon with the scallop edge, which is so cute. I love this ribbon. And I'm just pinning on kind of a faux bow there for an example. And even with the mother of pearl buttons, I still think the white is cute. I fear that anything off-white would look ugly. And there's the double face satin. Okay, and I've gathered up the leg edges on the white one and stitched those bands down, and now I'm just removing all four of those gathering threads. Done it on both sides. And as you can see, I think there I have remembered to extend the leg bands past the crotch edge. And now I'm just going to show you fold that down, and you'll have that look on the front. And then on all four of those little edges, you'll fold it, and then you'll fold it in half, hand stitch it down all the way across. And that is how it will look. Okay, now now I'm just clipping off a little thread here and a thread there and some shreddy fabric pieces. But now for the bodice, I wanted to kind of tidy that up. Get rid of some of the excess threads on the back. Can't handle all these little threads, but you know, it's one of those things. Okay, so I'm going to do a roll and whip just like I've done on the folded lining edge. I'm going to clean up the actual bodice front. I'm trimming out a little tiny notch here on one of the sleeves. Arm side, I guess, really. Okay, so here's the bodice. And I'm going to take my rotary blade and just trim off all those little shreds of fabric. And once I get that done, I feel a lot better. Okay. Now the next thing in line is to attach the bodice to the pants. I was checking to make sure this was going to fit, and this side seam and this side seam are perfect, and interestingly, this little bit of pin tuck that I did in the front is right in the middle, right on that center seam in the front. Now, I don't think I've mentioned that actually. I changed the design of the pin tucks, and I need to point that out. So let me get this stitched on and then I'll show you what I mean, because I don't think I've said anything about that. Just like I did on the blue, I am going to stitch all the way around, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around again, and then I'm going to pull out all of the basting stitches that are holding the little pleats together, and I don't have any basting on the front. And then I will do a wide zigzag over the top like I did here, like this, right there. Just kind of keeps everything neat. All right, I'll be back in a moment. Is that not just the cutest thing? And of course this one will have to be washed. I can wash it, or I can just soak it in cool water to get rid of the blue marks. This is the front, and this is the back, which will close up like so. Ooh. Okay, so here is our little bow tie. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.